Well, good day and welcome to sunny Las Vegas. It is drive time, and today's subject came from two things. One, busted my knee up working out the other day, and yeah, trying to be too young still, I guess. But it brings about an interesting subject as to why you need to be successful and why you want to take care of the finances and why you want to be, why wealth is a must, why success is something that just has to happen. Because I see too many people that, well, let's be blunt, something goes wrong in their life or something happens and they don't have their finances handled, and therefore they end up in a negative situation. So there's four things we want to focus in on today. Let me take you through them one at a time about how success and how wealth and all of that stuff, not only is it a must, but how it actually happens, because too often we get into this situation, or people get themselves into a situation where they haven't played the game well. They have not played the money game well. They've not played the finances, the success game well. And if you play the success game really well, life is pretty dang easy once you do it. It should take you about 10 years to learn and master money. It really should. And it shouldn't take, very much so. If it takes you longer than 10 years to master money, it's because you're not actually working at mastering money. You're just working. And that's a big difference between those two things. Mastering money, being a master of money, is possibly one of the most important aspects of your life, I guess. If you look at life, and I remember being told a story when I was young. I'll get to the 4 points in a moment, don't panic. Thanks for typing in where you're at. For those of you who are new to Drive Time, we type in where we're at so we see where we're going. So far, we're in South Africa, we're in the UK. I'll see the rest of them in just a moment, so keep typing in where you're at, city or state. We want to make sure we hit all of the continents on every drive. So when we think about money, right, and you think about understanding that, the story I was told when I was young was about very simple, and it was, imagine if your child was at school in, say, grade 4, and in grade 4, they failed the year and they were held back a year. And you're like, dang, my kid, really? All right, I'll get them a tutor. I'll work harder with them. I'll spend time with them, all that sort of stuff. And so you get your kid at the end of the next year, they failed grade 4 again. In fact, they fail it 7 times in a row. In fact, they're driving themselves to school and they're still in grade 4. Now, when you talk about that with kids, it seems absolutely ridiculous. The problem is, you talk about it with adults, and it's just exactly what happens. They live a photocopy life. It's the same year in, year out, year in, year out. They work the same, they go on the same vacation, or they have the same amount of money. There's no growth. If you look at life and you welcome life with a report card every year, did you get better at relationships this year? Did you get better at finances this year? Did you get better at business this year? Better at sales, better at marketing, better at health, better at fitness, better at family? What grade did you give yourself in each and every area of your life so far this year? So if you're going to live a positive life, then you got to have an A+ in your report card every year. And here's what I think should be the keys to that. Number one key to it, and that is, did you want to get better? In other words, did you set goals? Did you challenge yourself with dreams? If you don't want to get better, then okay, stop watching my drive times. If you don't want to have more in your life and achieve more, and the be do have more philosophy, then my drive time is not for you. If you're one of these minimalist people that wants to live a minimal life and have a tiny house on that, no, I'm not the drive time for you. Go watch someone else's drive time. I'm more about the, do real well. Yes, pay off your debt. Dave Ramsey, great stuff. But hey, debt is not bad. Debt is good when debt is paid for by somebody else. My kid had to come home the other day and tell me that she's learning this stuff from school. They've got this financial education class telling them debt is bad. I had to sit them down and re-educate them as to why debt is good if someone else is paying for it and it's buying you an asset. Crazy, crazy stuff. But you got to want success. That's the number one thing. So if that's you, great, keep listening. Number 2 thing you got to have is you got to want to grow into success. So you can't just want success. You've got to actually want to grow into success. You've actually got to want to become the person that will create that success. So you've got to learn, you got to grow, you got to keep up the understanding and the knowledge acquisition side of it. If you keep learning and you keep growing, then that's what got us through this pandemic. Let's be blunt about it. If you didn't keep learning and growing about how to run your business through a pandemic, you did not get through the pandemic. It's simple that way. There's too many people that said, oh, this is just the end, and they gave up. No, I keep learning, I keep growing. That's the way I do this thing. I'm never going to sit back and wait. I got to keep growing and keep learning. So third point, to make sure that the whole thing is, you got to play long term. You can't just play a short term game. Too many people play a short term financial game, and they get the money, they spend the money, they make money, they spend it, and that's a poor thinking. Your job is to not just get the money, and I think I posted a meme the other day about it, and that is that your job with money is not, the money you make is not yours to spend. The money you make is yours to invest. The return on investment, that's yours to spend, but not the money that is coming from straight income. Income, you need to pay some bills, but the vast majority of your income should be put towards an investment so you can eventually live off of your investments. So you got to play a long-term game, and that's why knowledge acquisition is a long-term game, investing is a long-term game. Short-term players do not succeed in this whole thing called life. And finally, you got to understand leverage. And leverage is about do the work once, get paid forever. As I told you, I busted my knee up. Can you imagine if I had to go to work, I'd be working on a busted knee? No, I would have a few rest days, a few easy days, that sort of thing. It's my daughter's birthday, I'm hanging out with her. My other daughter's graduation, I'm going to hang out with her. That's what I'm going to do because I have the option for that. So you got to build wealth, meaning money that comes in whether you get out of bed or not. Money that comes in no matter what. That's what you got to ultimately build. What's your biggest learning out of this session? Not just the 4 things, but what's your biggest lesson that you have to apply? What do you got to do to do this thing? Type it in now. If you want this stuff to start to become a reality, you got to type it in. You can't just assume it's going to become a reality. You got to type it in and make sure it does become a reality. Listen, I hope Drive Time keeps on helping you. If Drive Time gives you help, give me a shout out. Go and give me a 5-star rating. Give me a whatever. But or share this with your friends. Tag a few friends and share them into it. Tag a few family members and share them into this thing. I want to keep helping as many people as we can, and that's the goal here at Drive Time. If you haven't worked with one of my coaches yet, go over to the bucket list and go to Bucket List Life Coaching with Trav Bell and the team. Go over to Action Coach and see the Action Coach team. Go over to my Engage and Grow team about employee engagement in your companies. Go over and see my team at Love for Marketing, Chris Cook and the Love for Marketing team. If you want help growing your business or growing your life, one of my team of coaches somewhere out there is going to be the person to help you.